Hi everyone, my name is Teresa Jurgens. Thank you for joining me in episode 7 of the Reading of the Innovation Process book. We are in chapter 4. We're wrapping up chapter 4 today. You can get the rest of chapter 4 in episodes 5 and 6. And we are in part 1, Waterfall New Product Development. You can get the entire lay of the land with the book in episode 0. Check that out in the YouTube playlist below. So in chapter 4, we've been talking about the phases and tools in waterfall new product development process. And the risks are shown here for customer risk, financial risk, technical risk, and people risk. You can get a copy of the book at Amazon. You can scan that QR code. And again, we're going to cover the last part of chapter 4, talking about waterfall NPD gates. So with that, let's get into the book and start reading. Waterfall NPD gates. Gates reflect the decision points after the new product development work has been completed in prior stages. The purpose of a gate review is to approve the go-forward plan for the next phase of development work. There are 3 separate results of that decision: go, no-go, or redirect. Go decision. A go decision authorizes the project leader to invest the approved resources to advance the development of the new product project through the next stage. Gatekeepers authorize expenditures and agree to a set of deliverables for the project in the next stage. The go decision validates that the new product concept meets strategic, marketing, technical, and financial objectives. No-go decision. A no-go decision means that the project will be halted, often referred to as a kill decision. There are many reasons to kill a project, such as the product failing to meet expected customer needs, realignment of the corporate strategy, or unfavorable financial outlooks. A post-launch review of the project is completed to transfer and build organizational knowledge. However, no additional testing or development is authorized. Product portfolio information, reflecting the entire set of active innovation projects, is updated to show that the project has ended and team members are reassigned. Redirect decision. The redirect decision should be used sparingly, if at all. In the most common form, a redirect decision involves repeating a portion of work from an earlier stage to gather higher quality or more detailed information for the new product project. This is sometimes called a recycle decision. Projects may also be put on hold due to special circumstances, such as when market seeding for the new product is not complete, or if there are not enough resources available for the project to be staffed appropriately. An NPD project cannot be on hold for any significant length of time due to the dynamic nature of the innovation environment and commercial marketplaces. Gate 1, business case. In another reading, we covered figure 2.5, illustrating a staged and gated process for new product development. Following the phase of work in which the organization scopes market and technical opportunities, gatekeepers evaluate the viability of the new product at Gate 1. The primary purpose of this decision is to judge whether the project has enough financial merit to move forward. Gatekeepers are tasked to balance the rough business case numbers against new product risks: customer, financial, technical, and people, according to the corporate and innovation strategies. Typical gate criteria. Innovation project leaders, team members, and senior management establish specific gate criteria prior to each subsequent stage. Several gate criteria are considered at each review to validate that the NPD project remains aligned with the strategy and meets customer needs. Other gate criteria are specific to the goals and objectives of the individual project. Detailed to advance the project telescopes to narrower ranges of data accuracy as the new product advances systematically through the staged and gated process. A set of generic decision criteria for project gates is outlined for the waterfall process and maintained by the process owner. Gatekeepers are trained on evaluating these criteria for each individual project. We recommend that gatekeeper training include a benchmarking exercise to ensure consistency among gatekeepers and to establish guidelines for decisions, such as those shown in Figure 3-4 for profit potential. Some typical gate criteria used within an NPD process are listed below. Those gate criteria include, does the project fit with the overall business strategy? Is there a direct tie to the innovation strategy? Does the product support global initiatives, or is the market limited? Is there a clearly defined customer need? Is the market attractive? Who are the direct and indirect competitors? Are there growth opportunities in the market? Does the new product offer a competitive advantage? Is the project technically feasible? Do we need to acquire technology, resources, or equipment to complete the product development work? Does the product leverage core competencies? Does the project balance risk, reward, and investment? Are there any special health, environmental, or safety considerations? What is the outlook for regulatory or legislative actions impacting the market or product technology? What is the risk versus return and cost versus benefit? Is the overall life cycle profitability attractive? What are expected financial returns and when are they occurring? Are there any showstoppers or killer variables that could derail the project? What risk management and mitigation steps are in place? Who are the alliance partners, suppliers, and distributors? Gate criteria are presented as a checklist for the gatekeepers to complete on an individual basis or as a group, as in Figure 3-3. If the gatekeepers all agree that the gate criteria are met, including deliverables and resource plans for the next stage of development work, then the project will advance to the next stage. The project is given a go decision. Gate 2, design and development. Following initial exposure to the new product concept, the project will pass Gate 2 if the target market responds favorably to the idea. Funding for Stage 3 is approved at Gate 3 to further design and develop one to a few of the concepts with the intent of commercializing the best design. Gatekeepers should be aware that more customer testing in the concept evaluation phase will result in a budget requirement that includes external spending. Up to this point in the Waterfall NPD process, generally only internal resources are committed, but Stage 3 requires prototype tests to validate further development. Building a prototype typically uses raw materials and resources extending beyond the core NPD team. Moreover, focus group testing of prototypes usually involves hiring an outside facilitator to run the sessions, analyze data, and provide incentives to potential customers. Gate 3, scale production. Gate 3 approval is a significant milestone in the staged and gated process. Bob Cooper has called this decision the money gate, since the amount of spending for subsequent stages of work are substantially more than in the front end of innovation. Investment in manufacturing processes can be expensive and time-consuming, requiring engineering and construction resources. Recall that in a waterfall process, the NPD team members may shift in depth of knowledge and expertise throughout the process. Gate 3 is one point at which the team members, except for the project manager and product manager, often have the highest rate of turnover. Skill sets for design and testing of ideas are very different than those required to design, build, and commission a factory for new product manufacture. Gatekeepers too may change at Gate 3 due to the increased costs anticipated during Stage 4 and 5. Gatekeepers and gates are approvals not just for the work done to date, but also for the planned go-forward work. Therefore, gate decisions must be carefully reviewed at this stage along with thoughtful selection of gatekeepers. For instance, folklore at ExxonMobil holds that a new polypropylene plant was designed and ready for construction. The process had been tested, consumer use of the material was favorable, and front-end engineering designs were completed. Unfortunately, the gate decision failed as one senior executive gatekeeper wanted the plant built at a different site in Texas. A lot of money, time, and resources were spent to redesign the plant for the preferred site. In this case, senior executives of the operating units were customers for the project, and their feedback had not been adequately captured prior to the gate review. Political, regulatory, and other considerations must be reviewed by the NPD project team in order to address risks beyond requirements and technical uncertainties. Risks for a waterfall NPD process are discussed in Chapter 5, while cautions for implementation are discussed in Chapter 6. Gate 4, go to launch. While a new product is not typically killed at Gate 4, the launch decision is significant. Gatekeepers must consider whether the product has passed technical and commercial readiness tests. These evaluations include whether the product can be manufactured in volumes necessary to supply the market, whether distribution channels can deliver the product in the necessary form and packaging to the correct market segments, and whether after-sales staff are prepared to handle warranty, parts, and service requests. Brand reputation may be on the line for the decision, especially if a next generation product is launched to address previous quality or competitive issues. The product launch plan, Stage 5, including a sales rollout plan, is approved by the gatekeepers at Gate 4. When customer education or training is needed, the NPD team must note these steps in the product launch plan so that gatekeepers are aware of all risks in the go-to-launch decision. Post-launch reviews. A post-launch review, PLR, evaluates the effectiveness of the project team and processes, as well as the initial acceptance of the product in the marketplace. As in any lessons learned review, the PLR focuses on learning and improving by asking what went well on the project, what practices or policies did not serve the team or project well, and what could be improved next time. This feedback provides improvements to the staged and gated process, as well as to decision-making systems for the portfolio management team and project gatekeepers. The process owner should participate in every post-launch review to develop long-term learnings and to identify streamlined activities for future NPD process efforts. The first post-launch review, PLR1, is conducted at the time that the product is commercialized, Stage 5. The purpose of PLR1 is to generate learnings from the NPD team, such as behaviors and tools that were particularly successful, or not, in executing the innovation effort. PLR1 focuses on people and processes leading to improvements in the staged and gated NPD approach. Because the team members usually change over the phases of a waterfall process, it is not unusual to hold a team review at or around Gate 3 to gather learnings of team interactions, tools, and process steps for the front end of innovation work, as well as at the conclusion of Stage 5. Planning and estimating staged and gated projects are further benefits gained by effective post-launch reviews. While such data may vary widely for radical innovation, routine next-generation products and incremental innovations tend to follow similar development patterns. Data from the PLR1 describing the number of staff, length of project stages, and cost of each stage is collected by the process owner. Future project estimates often use averages from similar projects for planning the schedule and budget. This information helps to improve project planning, resource management, and business case estimates. PLR2 and PLR3 are more focused on the success of the product in the marketplace, measuring whether sales are meeting goals, such as target customers, volumes, margins, and so on. When the product has a long sales cycle, you should not skip the PLR2. In addition to evaluating what went well and opportunities for improvement, these later post-launch reviews examine customer acceptance, sales revenue, and other market elements for the new product. The PLR2 is deployed for products with longer sales cycles so that timely adjustments are made in marketing and sales of the new product. Typically, the PLR2 is conducted about 6 months after product launch, and the PLR3 is conducted about 1 year after commercialization or after the completion of one sales cycle. The PLR3 is mandatory for a successful implementation of a staged and gated NPD process. Next time, we're going to talk about Chapter 5, which is implementation of a Waterfall NPD process. You can get your copy of the Innovation Process book from Amazon by scanning the QR code there or searching within Amazon so that you can read along with me. And we also have a class starting on August 12th, 2025. The link is below to talk about hybrid processes in particular. Join the class and hopefully you can learn even more. Thanks and have a good day.